Hey everyone, it's Matt here, the TokuDragon, and today we're going to be talking about some news about a new Kamen Rider video game that just dropped on Twitter 2 days ago. But here's the thing, this game might actually be coming out in English, but not necessarily in the US. So let's actually talk about it right now. So the name of the game is Shin Kamen Rider Ranbu, also in English as New Kamen Rider Rumble. Now, even though it seems like Rumble is going to be used as the official English name, the Shin part is going to be kept, of course, because of, Shin Godzilla, Shin Ultraman, and Shin Kamen Rider. Now, it has been announced for Switch and PC, but when I first heard about it, I thought, yeah, but it's probably going to stay in Japan. Even looking at some screenshots here, there was some divisiveness about how good the game looks. Personally, I think that if the game plays well, then I don't care. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. I love side-scrolling beat-em-ups, especially the Kamen Rider kind. There have been plenty of them throughout the history of Kamen Rider video games, and looking at some of the older ones, they are definitely a lot of fun. And so looking at this, I was like, look, it looks this way, but as long as it plays well, I'm going to be fine with it. But I did assume that it was going to be, stuck in Japan. However, not only did Bandai end up tweeting it on their official account, although to be fair, this was the Japanese Bandai account. I was like, oh, that's nice and all, but again, it's probably just going to be stuck on, Japanese platforms, maybe even just the eShop, looking like a very, lower budget eShop game. Again, not a problem, but still just what it looks like. But then all of a sudden, I saw that it was actually being posted and talked about in English on the Bandai Namco of Entertainment, the Bandai Namco Entertainment Asia at Bandai Namco SEA account. And this is very important because here's the thing, y'all. This doesn't mean that it's going to show up on a Target physically or anything like that. That it's going to end up showing up, at your local Walmart. Even on Amazon, potentially, it might not show up. But if you're not really familiar with the more recent Kamen Rider games that have come out, just generally come out, and even, it's not just a Kamen Rider thing, it's also happening with other games as well, be it on the Switch, PS4, whatnot. The interesting thing is that when it comes to these games, even though they don't end up having a US version or even a PAL version, they still end up having English on the cart or even on the disc. And the reason why is because they are released as quote-unquote Asia versions. Now, that if you hear that at first, you're like, wait, what, an Asia version? But the Japanese version? But here's the thing. The reason why they're calling it that is because it is actually made for Hong Kong markets. The Hong Kong market, just the Hong Kong market. But the reason why it's coming out in English is because in Hong Kong, there is a huge amount of people who do speak English. And so you will have some releases of stuff there that don't coincide with US versions that are released just specifically for that market. Dragon Ball Super, oddly enough, got an English dub in Hong Kong that was not the Funimation dub, even though it was actually dubbed by Bang Zoom, a Californian company. It's super weird. Like, it happened, but it's just still weird and it still blows my mind. So, you're actually going to have a situation here, potentially, where just like Kamen Rider Climax Fighters and also Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes, that's the one, both of them actually got Japanese-only releases, at least we thought, and then they ended up getting Asia versions, and those versions were in English. So yes, if you don't know, there are English versions of those two games out. Even the Climax Fighters, they got kind of like a like an extra edition, kind of like an like a Pokemon Yellow, if you're thinking of Pokemon games. Just that little bit extra, crammed in there. They got that version of the game, and it also was in English. Now, if you're thinking, but Matt, this version clearly cannot be compatible with my Switch or my PS4. Well, thankfully, that isn't the case. The PS4 is actually region-free, and the Switch is no different. Now, I say region-free, but look, if you're in a situation where you have a Japanese game for either the PS4 or the Nintendo Switch, doesn't mean that it's always going to have an English option. Some do, but many of them will not, unless there's one built into the cartridge or the disc. But when it comes to Asia versions of games, they do have English built in. They're meant to. You can just buy them and pop them into your Switch or PS4. So, there is a very good chance, even if it's just digital only, that we will be getting this game in English, which we don't know much about it yet. We don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but at the very least, it is great to see that we might have more Kamen Rider games in the US, because there is a shocking, well, maybe not a shocking amount, but there is a lot of Kamen Rider games that are not available in the US, aren't available in English. There's absolutely no way you can play them. And it really, really does suck because there's so many cool Kamen Rider games out there. So, thankfully, this might be one that we can play in English. So, Hope you're happy about the news. I sure as hell am. Really hope this ends up being the case. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you like the video, please remember to like and subscribe. Love y'all, take care, and tune in next time. So, see ya.